All right, let's do your practice for the reteach.
All right. So all the students are going to already have their fraction strips out and their whiteboard. All right, class. So we're going to be comparing fractions 2/3 and 3/6. So I need you to take out 2 of the 1/3 fraction strips and lay them next to each other, and 3 of the 1/6 fraction strips and also lay them next to each other. All right, so now we're going to have to add up our fractions to get the total number of fraction strips. So 1/3 and 1/3. Write that on your whiteboards right next to the fraction. So 1/3 plus 1/3 equals, now remember when we're adding fractions with common denominators, the denominator stays the same. And then we're going to add the numerator. 1 and 1 is 2. So 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. Now let's add up our 1/6 fraction strips. So we have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Again, the denominator stays the same. And just add up the numerators. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3/6. All right.
Tell them why you did that again. Why did you write it next to it?
So we have to get the total because we're not comparing 1/3 and 1/6, because remember we have to add up each of the parts in order to get the total, and then we're going to compare. So now that we have our fractions, we're going to write them next to each other so we can compare. All right, so for our greater than and less than symbols, remember the alligator is always trying to eat the bigger fraction. So the opening is going to face the bigger fraction. So since we have them lined up properly, our fraction strips, we're going to look to see which fraction strip is longer, and that would be our 2/3. So the alligator is going to eat 2/3, and to read it from left to right, 2/3 is greater than 3/6. Okay? So now to move on to our pizzas to compare, I already have the visuals out for you. They're already labeled, they're already cut into equal parts. So first, let's write our denominator. So we're going to count the equal parts. In the first pizza, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts on the first pizza.
And kids are writing this too?
Yes.
Okay.
And now we're going to count the equal parts in the second pizza, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. Now if we go back into our problem, it says that Brad ate 3 of the pizzas. So we're going to shade in 3 parts, and we're starting at this top part right here so we can easily compare which pizza is shaded in more. So our numerator is 3, and for the next pizza, again, we're starting at that same exact point where we started the other, and we're going to shade in 2 of the equal parts. So our fraction is 2/8. Now looking at both pizzas, we're going to see which part of the pizza is shaded in more, and that's going to be our greater fraction. So again, we are using our alligator to eat the bigger fraction, which is 3/6.
Okay, awesome. All right, so then the last thing that I would want you to do when you're modeling is to have a student or everyone restate like what it is that you did. So, like, what is it that they're taking away? So like they were doing it when you did it, but like what is the thing that you were trying to get them to learn? And that was pretty quick. I know it'll be a little longer when you actually do it.
Because then they're also going to be doing it on their own.
Yeah, you were assuming that everyone was writing exactly what you were writing when you did it. All right.
And no behaviors. You were really
no
well
one was
behaved.
talking and everyone was doing, there was no fraction strips being thrown across the room, nothing like that.
Right.
All right, so what did you think about that? Do you think it was better when you did it?
Yeah, I think the skipping the adding of the fractions was a definite error on my part. And also just thinking that they remembered which way the greater than and less than symbols went. But also just where we start shading in the pizza, because I don't know, I guess it's just it's just so second nature to me that I'm thinking that's
Yeah.
not, but that's why
Yeah.
we reteach.
I mean, even when you do your exemplar, like, ideally that's when you, like, hit all that stuff, but
Yeah.
there's so many pieces to this. So, did the practice piece, did you find that to be helpful for the reteach? Just, like, so you could narrow it down, you know?
Yeah, and break it down step by step, and and also the why is always a very important step, because a lot of times they'll ask, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And then each step, why is this important? Like, why do you need to know this particular thing? Why is that important? Yep. All right, awesome. So hopefully we can do this, reteach more fractions tomorrow, because we have PSSAs next week already for math. So we'll take a look at, are you going to give them an exit ticket after the reteach to make sure that they understood it?
Since it is going to be just small group, I think their practice, I'll just take parts of that from.
Okay, so we can review the practice to make sure that they got this.
Yeah.
Comparing fractions using their models. Awesome. I can't wait to see if they get it. Yay! This will be exciting. All right, cool. Then that was it for this meeting. Thank you.
You're welcome.